year of 2025 being a lower number of sales, but we're also not seeing prices fall across the board, which is what you would expect a lot of times in a slow market. Hey, what's happening, friends? Market report time for the month of September 2025, and we're going to go through all of the islands and give you a high-level overview of what is going on in the housing market, and then also break down your over-year numbers for the median price and the number of sales. So let's bring in the data here and jump right in. We're going to start off with the island of Kauai. So the top line numbers here are just single family homes. So there was 28 single family home sales on the island of Kauai last month. That's a decrease of 17% month over month and a decrease of 31% year over year. So much slower this year than it was last year. The median price was 1.185 million. That's a decrease of 2.3% month over month and a decrease of 10.9%, almost 11% year over year. So median price going down, and we're going to also see that trend across the board in some of the other islands. Not all the islands, but definitely that year over year median price decrease is going down. And then total sales volume was 74.2 million on Kauai. That number goes all over the place because there's really high-end stuff that sells. It really adds a lot to the total volume, but that was down 37% year over year. And then looking at the numbers on the bottom on the table, what we're looking at here is the number of sales and then the year over year change, and then also the median price and the year over year change. So looking at condo sales, and this is year to date, so all the way comparing year to date this year to year to date last year, there was 191 condo sales. That was a decrease of 2.6%. So fewer sales in the condo market, but an 11% increase, 875,000 on the median price. So condo sales are down a little bit in terms of units, but they're up 11% in terms of price. On the flip side, in the single family home market, there's been 261 sales this year so far, and that's an increase of 1.2%. And then the median price is 1.18 million, which is actually a decrease of 15%. So inverse, right? Little few more sales this year, but at a lower price than last year. And then land, of course, pretty small market on Kauai, but 63 sales, which is down 10% year over year. And the median price is 950,000, which is up 18% year over year. So fewer sales, but higher price point. And that's one of those weird anomalies in this market that we're seeing across the board, is you're seeing these year of 2025 being a lower number of sales, but we're also not seeing prices fall across the board, which is what you would expect a lot of times in a slow market. So moving over to the Maui market, there's been 60 homes last month sold. That's no change month over last month, but a decrease year over year of 6.3%. The median price is 1.27 million. That's a decrease of 2.9% month over month and a decrease of 3.6% year over year. So we're seeing that same trend even just month over month and year over year. And then the total sales volume was 111 million last month. That's an increase of 12% month over month, but a decrease of 4.2% year over year. Looking at the year to date performance, since we are getting into the final quarter of the year here, there was 464 condo sales year to date. That's a decrease of 26% year over year. And the median price is 710, which is a decrease of 21%. So the condo market is way down in terms of median price if you take the entire year to date versus the previous year to date. On the single family home market, there's been 470 sales. That's a decrease of 11% year over year. And the median price is 1.3%, which is flat, almost exactly the same as it was a year ago. So the condo market, very soft. The residential market is pretty much flat. And then on the land side, 91 sales. That's a decrease of 33%. So significant fall in the number of sales that are happening in the land market. The median price is 700,000, which is a decrease of 22%. So condo market and land market, very soft. Single family home market, very stable in terms of pricing.
If you're looking to relocate here on the Big Island, I want to share with you a resource that we put together. Over 80 agents from my team, expert agents here on the Big Island, put together a relocation guide that will help you evaluate all of the important factors that you want to take into account before you move here to the Big Island. School districts, healthcare, employment, all of the things that you got to think about, we put into one home buyer's guide that will help you figure out what is best when you start this relocation process here to the Big Island. So if you want this guide, just click on the link below, fill out the form. We will send you the guide for free. And if you want to take the next steps and have a conversation with us, we'd be happy to help.
On the Big Island, island of Hawaii, we had 163 homes sell. That's exactly a no change over month, but it's a decrease of almost 8% year over year. We had the median price was 530,000. That's an increase of 1% month over month, but a decrease of 3.8% year over year. And the total sales volume was 125 million. That's an increase of 3% month over month and a decrease of 21% year over year. The year-to-date performance for the Big Island, also interesting because they're kind of all over the place when you break this thing out by property type segment, which a lot of times you don't see in a market report. And that's why I like doing it this way. Is in the condo market, you had 354 sales year to date. That's a 15% decrease year over year. And the median price was 637,000. That's a 6% decrease year over year. So condo market, we're seeing decreasing prices year to date, year over year. In the single family home market, there's been 1,341 sales. That's a decrease of 1.8%. So pretty significant, a small decrease in the number of sales. The median price is 565, which is actually up 3%. So single family homes are up 3%, condos are down 6% in terms of median price. And then on the land market, there's been 1,179 sales, always very, very strong here on the Big Island. That's a 6% decrease year over year. The median price is 48,000. And that's an increase of 6.7%. So single family home and land continues to go up in terms of price, even though the year over year number of sales is down across the board. So number of sales is going to end most likely at the end of this year is going to be lower than all of 2024, but prices continue to rise overall on average. And then finally, we have the Oahu market. There was 264 single family home sales last month. That's an increase of 4.3% month over month, and it's flat year over year. So no change year over year in the number of sales. The median price was 1.1 million. That's an increase of 2% month over month, and also pretty flat, an increase of 0.3% year over year. And then the total volume was 359 million, which is an increase of 12% month over month and flat year over year. So in terms of pricing, you'll see that Oahu is about the most stable in terms of number of sales and then sales price. So breaking it down by property type in the year-to-date performance, in the condo market, there's been 3,006 sales. That's a decrease of 3%. So small decrease in the number of sales. The median price is 512,000. That is up 0.6%. So almost flat, just up a little bit in terms of median price. Single family homes, there is 1,925. That's a decrease of 3% year over year in terms of number of sales. And then the median price is 1.13 million, which is an increase of 4.5%, 4.4%. So we're seeing increases in the condo and single family home market in terms of median price. And then land, there was a big jump. There was 65 land sales. That's an increase of 41%. There's not a lot of land sales on Oahu if you look proportionally compared to the Big Island, but the median price was 905,000, which is an increase of 4%. So very, very different dynamics for all of the different islands. You can see that Oahu is the most stable in terms of number of sales and median price. And we're seeing really dramatic swings on Kauai and Maui. So as always, this is very, very broad. This is the entire market. And so if you want us to break down and look closer at your specific area on your island and give you a really detailed market report, you can always reach out to us. There is always a link in the description below to my calendar. You can just book a meeting and I'll bring an expert on in the area that you're looking. Just fill out the little form that asks you where you're looking and what your interests are. And we'll make sure that we have an expert from that area on the call with me. And of course, you can always email me at dylan@buybigisland.com. So that's your market report for the month of September. We're going into the final part of this year, but very interesting. This year is going to end the year being slower than it was a year ago, but it's looking like overall prices are continuing to be stable, which has been the case for many, many, many years and months now. Is no matter kind of what happens in terms of number of sales, prices always stay pretty stable. So always appreciate you guys watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and of course, book a meeting or reach out dylan@buybigisland.com and we'll get back to you. I'll see you guys next month with our next month's market report. Aloha.